Yo, yo, yo! Austin Farrell here from 60 Minute Wipeout. Going to be talking to you about a personal favorite of mine. I know I get into a lot of, like, classic albums on this channel, but holy shit, dude. Tom Waits, Bone Machine. Um, what I like about Tom Waits is that he kind of gets misrepresented by the critic and doesn't really get the understanding from the mass media or the public, as because he does get a lot of attention. Like his last album, Bad As Me, he's been performing for like 30, 40 years, and his last album, Bad As Me, charted like hell. I mean, it was one of his best-selling albums yet. So good job, Waits, you're doing good. But what's interesting about Tom Waits is that he doesn't get a ton of respect for the things that I think he's best at by the critic, like myself, or by the average fan. It's usually by the musician. The main people that really tend to gravitate towards Tom Waits are a wide array of musicians who've been kicking shit out for years. I mean, even on this album, you've got people from like Los Lobos, people that are featured on here, Los Lobos, Primus. Keith Richards is on the last track from Rolling Stones. And then Jesse Dillon, Bob Dylan's son, took all the artwork. Yeah. Cool, right? It was released in 1992 on Island Records. Interestingly enough, my mom was on Island Records when this was released, and she was working a lot of singles, but I don't think they promoted this album a ton. But it still got really popular. But she was like completely unaware of it, so I asked her about it recently, and she was just like, "I didn't even know it came out on my label." So she knew who Tom Waits was. Very clunky album, very apocalyptic album as well. It's kind of like a washed-up man's philosophical musings about the world and how something just isn't quite right. That's just kind of how I've always seen it, whether it be tracks like Earth Died Screaming, or Dirt in the Ground, which I'm sure you can gather what they're about, or songs like Going Out West, where it's kind of just like running away, or I Don't Want to Grow Up, where, you know, you are quite literally running away from the future that is coming at you fast. Musically, it is a clunky album. It's very bluesy. It's very soulful, and that's the one thing that I should mention, is that musicians love to pick up on the fact that he is a soulful motherfucker. And then all the critics are just like, oh, well, his production and style and inspiration. Well, just let the man do what he wants and recognize where his talent is highlighted. Very, very cool sounds on here. I mean, it's like avant-garde old people music, you know? It's cool. It is really cool. And I think that's what the avant-garde sense really appeals to a lot of people in ways that maybe people wouldn't have wanted to listen to music before. Easily the most experimental person I have in my collection in mass. I have pretty much every Tom Waits album digitally, and I've never seen the light of day since. But this is like in a period where he was already experimenting with a lot of like weird things. I think the last studio album he put out was like Frank's Wild Years, which was like 5 years prior, and then before that was his like crowning achievement, Rain Dogs. I like this one better than Rain Dogs, and I like this one better than anything else in his collection. And the simple meaning behind it is because he does dark so well. He does dark so well on Alice, and he does avant-garde dark so well on the subsequent double album, Blood Money. But this is like the proto album to all those. So give it a look up. I really think you guys will like it. If you haven't heard of Tom Waits, he's gone through a lot of cycles and genres, so good luck with that.